First thing I want is, there we go. I got a couple questions for you. How many of you train with a plan? That's about not even 50%. Oh, you guys are going to learn a lot today. How many use a heart rate monitor? All right. How many here are pros? Or is full on? One in the back? One funny guy, okay. How many have been training for at least 5 years? So we got, okay, good. And then how many here think the bike is their weakest link in triathlon? Not that many, okay. Great. Okay, moving on. Okay, the bike. Couple key things. One, it's the longest part of the race. All right, so it's the biggest area that I think you can make gains in the actual overall time of your race performance. I think it's the easiest to make improvements on as well, because out of the three disciplines, I feel it's the least technical. As far as, you know, swimming, I think obviously is the hardest one as far as actual technical ability to perform in the water. And I think running is actually harder than biking. Maybe that's because I'm a cyclist, but good run mechanics, which we're going to talk about later, I think are a lot harder to learn than getting on a bike and pedaling. Okay, so it's easier to make gains there than anywhere else. It's also, I think, the least prone to injury, overuse injury. It's pretty low impact. Swimming is also low impact, but I think you get some shoulder issues you got to deal with. And the other thing is equipment actually helps. I mean, you can gain time by having the right equipment, which is a beautiful thing. You can actually buy time, which is awesome. You can't do that really in the run. In the swim, thank God for wetsuits. I heard some people talking about that. I'm a huge fan of the wetsuit since I sink right to the bottom pretty much every time we get in the water. But you know, the bike, to me, you can make a lot of gains in time, and it's pretty technically easy to make gains as well. And equipment is fun, expensive, but fun to purchase, and it actually does make a difference. What we're going to talk about today, I'm going to try to get through all this. We're going to talk about recovery, what periodization is, and planning. That kind of goes together. What are training zones, and how do you figure those out with testing? And then I'm going to talk about some specific, kind of a collection of my favorite bike workouts. We're going to go through some of those. Then we're going to do some strength training discussion, and then we're going to talk about bike fit at the end. And again, I could talk for an hour on each topic, so I got to kind of skim the surface. But you know, please interact with me as much as you want. All right, recovery. Now, typically, when you get a discussion about training planning and whatnot, recovery ends up in that discussion, but it usually ends up last. I put it first because it's the absolute most important thing. If you get anything out of this talk, this is the most important thing. Okay? The key between, you know, stressing your body and recovery, that's what it's all about for progress. That's when you grow. That's how you get faster. Is, you know, at the recovery part of your training. And most people don't recover at all, especially triathletes, runners, cyclists. They train 7 days a week, and you know, they never take a break. So I'm going to ask a couple of questions. How many here take 1 day a week off in their training? Oh, that's good. We're way ahead. How many take a week recovery at certain points in time? Not quite as many, but a few. That's good. So for the bike in particular, recovery ride. Easy, flat rides, hour or less, no intensity, stay in the small chain ring. Okay? Now, there are no group recovery rides. Okay? Hammerfest on Wednesday night is not a recovery ride. Don't tell me you're going to sit in. That's not a recovery ride. Okay? If you're going to go out with a group of people, they all better have the same goal of, we're going to stay in the small chain ring, and we're going to just cruise. Otherwise, you're not recovering. I would ride the bike you're going to race as much as you can. I would also ride that bike, since we're triathletes, you have Aerobars on your bike. Unless they're an accessory that you just think is cool, get in them as much as you can. If you're not going to ride in them, take them off your bike. All right? They're there for a reason. If you don't practice in your aero position, you will not race in it. Okay? And all it is weight and in the way, and something you're going to hit your knee on when you're climbing. Okay? So you've got to practice. That's a great question. Not to say you can't ride, you know, your long rides early in the year on your road bike if you've got 2 bikes. But you have to spend a lot of time on the bike you're racing. You spent $7 grand on that bike, ride it. You know, I mean, don't keep it polished and all that good stuff. Good, that's a great question.
I got a question.
Yep.
As long as you got a trainer at the bottom, what about rollers versus trainers?
Love the rollers. Yep, ride rollers all you can. It's great for your spin, changes it up.
But you can't really do sprints on that.
Yeah, you can.
I like it. How about riding the aero position on rollers?
That's a good question.
I can't do that.
I can't say I've done that. Have you done that? No.
Yeah, I tried. Don't try.
Yeah. Be careful on rollers. But they're a great tool. They're a great tool that's not used enough. You build a great spin because you have to. You stop spinning, you fall over. So yeah, rollers are awesome. You know, use them for the an hour endurance ride with that alactic workout. Probably work pretty good on rollers where you can do some spin ups. But yes, love the rollers.
We have athletes that can do one-legged pedaling on rollers.
With no hands.
You can do it on Aerobars, but you've got to get good at it. So I like to use my rollers for a short workout to work on my spin, and the longer ones that I might get a little mindless and fall off, I stick to the trainer. So.
Okay, we'll keep rolling here because I'm cutting it close. Okay, muscular endurance workout, zone 2, zone 4, or zone 3, zone 4. This is really important, really important. This is where you race. Okay, this is where you're going to race. This is the zones you're racing in. There's three workouts that I like to do: tempo, low cadence tempo, and steady states. And I stole these workouts. I didn't make all this stuff. I'm not that smart. I steal everything. Tempos are, it's basically zone 3. You can do in intervals. You can start with 3-minute intervals, work your all the way up to 20 or longer minute intervals. Okay, but it's zone 3 work. Low cadence tempo is probably my favorite workout, especially in the winter. It's a zone 3 workout. It's just like a tempo, except I lower the cadence tremendously. Like, I'll probably start you at like 60 to 70 RPMs and then get you down to 50 to 60 RPMs. It builds tons of strength and power, and it's a little bit higher intensity workout than an actual tempo interval, but you actually keep your heart rate about the same because the cadence is low. Yep.
So I'm going to ask the dumb question.
No dumb question.
Could you explain what a tempo is? I mean,
okay.
I look up the dictionary and say
a tempo interval. It's hard to explain. It's basically doing a zone 3 interval. So zone 3 is going to be a pace that is, you can probably still talk, but it's starting to get a little bit uncomfortable. Zone 3 work, typically a moderate group ride is going to be around zone 3, zone 4. Okay, so it's harder than base work, but not quite to the point where I can't breathe when I'm doing it. Okay, it's also an intensity that you can actually hold for quite a while. You should be able to hold this for an hour, really.
But tempo is really, we're using it as another word for a zone, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, is that kind of what you're asking? So that
you
zone
see
3,
tempo
4,
a lot, tempo run, tempo
right.
ride.
Right. And there are different styles and different coaching methodologies, and some of them use this terminology instead of saying zone 3, 4, or 5. So a tempo is your zone 3 or 4 ride.
Right. And then steady state is just a little. It's more a zone 4, high zone 3, low zone 4 workout. So you're going to do tempos first. I would do a block of tempos or a couple of tempo workouts first to build up some tolerance, and then increase the intensity a little bit to do a steady state. Yep.
How are you accomplishing the low cadence? I saying zone 3, are you rocking the large chain ring?
Yep.
Pushing heavy gearing?
Huge gear.
Okay.
Huge gear. Let's talk a little bit about this because this is a little hidden gem right here. I learned this from, we used to own and run a pro cycling team for years and years. And If you go talk to pro cyclists, like the guys doing the Tour of California in the US, those kind of guys, this is what they do all winter long. They push a huge gear, low cadence, hour after hour after hour. And they usually use heavy tires and put sand in their bottle cages and all that stuff. This is how they get strong. So I stole it from them and use it in my athletes. Now, careful of your knees. You know, if you have knee pain or knee issues, then you might want to stay away from this, or start with like a 70 to 80 RPMs. Okay? As you build up some tolerance in your soft tissue and your knees start to get used to it, then you can lower it down. Don't death grip the bars because it's hard. You know, try to keep your upper body nice and easy, and force your glutes and your hamstrings to do the work. You build a ton of power doing this. And you can get on the bike and knock this out in less than an hour. You know, start with like 3 intervals, 3 minutes on, 3 minutes off, and build up from there. Great, that's a great exercise. You got a couple minutes? Okay, power intervals. All my athletes love power intervals. These ones hurt like hell. Okay, this is all out efforts for, you know, 60 to 1 to 2 minutes long. This builds a lot of things. It helps you deal with lactic acid tolerance and clearing. It actually builds your aerobic system too. This is something people don't always get. It's a complete anaerobic effort. It's full out effort, but you're pushing your heart to maximum, which is teaching your heart to become more efficient at bigger stroke volume. Okay, and stroke volume is vital to aerobic performance. Okay, so you're actually getting an aerobic benefit from doing an anaerobic effort. So these are actually important. Even, you know, everyone thinks I'm a half Ironman or Ironman. I don't need to do this top end work. You definitely, this is a great way to strengthen your heart. It's also going to help you get over that big hill and not explode at the top of it. Yep.
When you do the power intervals, how many 1 to 2 minute repeats would you recommend?
Start with,
like, what kind of a rest?
I would start with 1 set of 5,
Okay.
1 minute. Start there. You start to get into more sets. I like, probably my favorite would be 2 sets of 3, okay? 90 seconds on, 3 minutes in between the intervals, 10 minutes in between the sets. That's pretty standard for me. Okay, and then if I can't get into all that, but yeah, that would be a good place. If you've been doing high-end work, try something like that, or ask me after and I'll write out a couple for you. Okay, you're gonna have to cut me off when you want to cut me off. Hill work. I'm gonna get real, because I'm running out of time, so I'm gonna get into as much guts as I can here. On the hill work, figure out your A race, look at the profile, figure out those hills, train for those hills. That's huge. Okay, if you're doing the half here, go ride the course, figure out those hills, and work those hills. All right. Work on sitting, standing, staying in the aero position, all those variations when you're climbing. Okay. If you can climb in a long, gradual hill, climb in the aero position, that's awesome. I mean, if you can build up to doing that. If you have to get out of the saddle, you're burning a lot more energy. Okay. One-legged pedaling. If your pedal stroke's not good, throw some of these in. You know, start off with 30 seconds each leg. Go back and forth, do 10 of them. These are hard if you haven't done those. High cadence work. This is back, let's say I'm doing my base work. Keep your cadence high. You know, we're going to do low cadence work too. Work that high cadence. You want to race at about 80 RPM or more, but you can debate it. Yep. Question? Anyone? No. Okay. Bricks. Love bricks. They're great for Michigan. We can't go ride outside for 3 hours, so lots of bricks where you suffer for an hour and a half on a trainer and then go run for an hour. They're great for beginners too if you haven't done a lot of triathlon, to get used to that transition from bike to run. Be careful if you're an advanced athlete. Your run speed suffers on bricks, okay? So make sure you're still doing high quality runs that aren't bricks, so that you're building run speed on fresh legs. Or flip the brick and do runs first, okay? You need to kind of do both. Can I keep going?
We'll give you a little bit. We'll skip over.
We're gonna skip straight.
Talk about the bike fit. Just to keep.
Okay, bike fit. I can go through this pretty quick. Very important that your bike fits properly. Okay, huge, 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 huge. If You know, if you look at someone on their bike and it looks bad, it probably is. Okay, I can't tell you how many times I'm driving on the road and I wish I had my cards with me because I want to pull over and just say, God, call me please, because you're going to hurt yourself on that bike. I'm serious. In the summer, that happens 5 times a week. Easy. It's more of an art than a science, in my opinion. This is my opinion. Okay, bike fit is more an art than a science. The super high tech fits that you go in and they hook you up and they're lasering you and all this stuff, and you slap down $400 and you walk out the door. I'm not a fan of that. All right, has anyone done that? Anyone got a bike fit like that? Did you keep it?
Village is one of your sponsors.
Okay, sorry.
They do a fabulous bike fit. I've got 2.
Okay.
The bike and the car bike. And you'll work with you for 3 hours.
Okay, good. And that's what, if they know what the hell they're doing, great, get it. I don't know those
He's
guys.
really
Good, good. The other thing about bike fit is I don't think you can get it all done in one session. Now, if they're spending 3 hours with you, maybe they are. Okay, but you're gonna make it when you get a bike fit and you get adjusted to that new position. You might get stronger in a particular position, and then you might want to tweak that even more. Let's say they move your saddle back 1/2 inch, and you're like, wow, that you adjust it, now it feels awesome. Well, maybe you should move back a little bit more. So to me, it's a progressive thing. It's not just a one size fits all. Aero, bike fit on an aero bike. Hopefully the person doing the fit is a triathlete, if you're a triathlete. All right, if you go get a fit on a tri bike by someone that does cycling specific time trials, they will fit you different. Because when I do a time trial on a bike and it's a prologue or something, when I get done with that bike, I want to fall over. I want to blow everything I've got on that thing and fall over when I hit the line. Well, if I'm doing an Ironman and I hit the line and fall over and I got a marathon to run, I'm in big trouble. It's a different fit. You have to be comfortable because power over the race is king, not aero. Okay, done? Okay, you want to do?
Sure.
Okay, Roxanne's going to do the last slide and we'll move on.
All right. Just a few more things to think about and take with you today, some takeaways. If you have a plan now, a lot of you said that you are training with a plan now. I'm not sure if you bought that plan or it was someone else's plan or it's the plan you used for the last 3 years. If that's the case, you're probably going to have the same performance that you've had the previous 2 years. So, whatever you're doing, each time you're upping your game, you're fine-tuning, you're doing more of these specific types of workouts, incorporating those things. So as you're changing it up, you're going to see improvements. If you're going to keep doing the same things year after year, you'll probably stay right about where you are now. Like Mark was just talking about, training in that aero position. For most of us, that is not a normal feeling to be down like this. And it takes a while to be comfortable at your race distance. What I have found in trying to get comfortable in aero, it takes a lot of time. It takes start with 3 minutes, start with 5 minutes, work your way up so that when you're doing your endurance rides and everything that you can stay there the whole time, because ideally that's what you want to be doing in your race is your aero the whole time. That's why you have those. So work up to it. It won't happen overnight, trust me. It's something that you have to work up to. Another thing with aero, if you're going to have the fancy sleek helmet, make sure you train with that. I actually found out before I was going to use it, the one that I had didn't quite fit me right. I couldn't even get my glasses on, so I decided that it was more beneficial to me to have my glasses. But if you're gonna, whatever you're going to use, any type of equipment, whether it's your bike equipment, your shoes, your wetsuit, anything, practice with it before race day. If you have some fancy schmancy wheels, Velocity is a sponsor. If you hook up with those guys, actually, if you got a bottle cage for asking the question today, there's a coupon on there, I think, that they might still honor. Don't train on those wheels. Save them for race day, or at least you can try them out, but don't train on them all the time. learning how to fuel in the race. The bike is the best place to do that because you're not jostling around, you have places to store fuel. Practice that in your training, make sure that you're comfortable eating on the bike, and practice what you're going to eat and how much of it you're going to need. You're not always going to feel great when you're training. It is a process that breaks down your body. That recovery allows you to keep progressing. But on days, if you're feeling awesome, those days are very rare. Push it. I had one this week on a run, was not expecting it at all. I thought my legs were trashed. Got out, started running with the group, felt awesome, and just kept going with it because I thought I might not feel like this again for another week and a half, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks. So I just took it and I ran with it. The rest of the time, you know, don't overdo it. Stick with the plan, stick in the zone that you're working on. Fun, we talked about fun. Question was asked, who's a pro? There weren't any. So obviously we're doing this for health reasons, to have a good time, to enjoy being healthy, the social aspect. That's why we do this. So remember that in your training. If it starts to not be fun, then reevaluate how you're going about it. You know, sometimes it's going to be a sufferfest, and that's how you do improve, but for the most part, we're doing this for enjoyment. Most of us don't have a lot of time for junk workouts. Time is of the essence, and a lot of people are time crunched. So when you're out there, have a purpose. Don't just go out and do miles to do miles. Have a purpose for it. In the winter, today is a very bad example, but get outside as much as possible. I mean, it does great things for, you know, just your attitude, and when you find other groups of people that are willing to do that with you, it's amazing how much you want to get outside in the wintertime. I mean, the running group is just now coming back from however long they were out this morning. There are groups of cyclists that ride cross bikes and mountain bikes outside in the winter. It is not unheard of, and it's a great training tool. If you miss a workout, like Mark was saying, type A people, we stress out if we can't stick to the plan. But you're better off, if you're gonna miss it, don't worry about it, it's in the past, don't try to make it up. Your body's gonna be better off just going with the flow, getting back on track when you can.
No, that's it. That's all me.
So, oops, I pressed the wrong button. Just a couple of things that we're going to be offering coming up. We have set a date for our fee-based clinic for bike to run. We're going to hold this at our gym in Richland. It's going to be 100% hands-on. We will work with you to get your zones. We're going to do some testing on the bike. We're going to practice transitions. We're going to get you in the gym and demonstrate strength training and make sure that you know how to do these types of exercises. Talk a little about periodization and how we're going to take those zones that you'll get that day and apply them to some of the periodization and planning that Mark was discussing today. You know, we'll take a bit more detail and talk about bike fit and those kinds of things. It's a very small setting, very hands-on, very personal. Most we're going to take is 10 people, and there's going to be at least 3 coaches there. So if you're interested in that, there is a sign-up on Athletic Mentors website for that, and we'll also get a link up on the Grand Rapids Tri and Michigan Titanium sites as well. So if you're interested in that, you can sign up. Some of you, well, a lot of you were here for the swim clinic, and we are offering another round of our swim stroke analysis. It's a 2-day clinic, 3 hours each day, and you're going to walk away with just so much valuable information, video analysis. You're going to have drills to do to improve the flaws that come out and help you improve your stroke, give you some structured workouts and things that you can use to improve your swim. Again, that information is on the Athletic Mentors website, and we have, I don't know, do we have spots open yet for Mark? We have maybe 1 or 2?
Yes.
Okay, so we have a couple spots open yet. If you're interested in that, I encourage you to sign up as soon as possible because that will fill up. So the other things that we do, what we specialize, what Cheryl talked about, and what we all do is, if you're ready to make the investment and have someone work with you to improve your game, put all these pieces together for you. If you don't have the time to do it all, if you're not, if you just don't have the time to put all that in one package and do your planning and all of that, we can do that for you. We have a number of coaches on staff. Most of us are here today, and we all collaborate and we work together with you to make it a personal plan. We're always in constant contact with you. You have access to our swim coach, run coach, cycling, strength training, and all those people are going to be seeing you and working with you. Very, very, very comprehensive package, and that's based on a monthly fee. So if that's something you're interested in, you can talk to any of us. If you're not quite at that level yet and you just want to have someone help you put together a training plan and kind of send you along your way, we will work with you to get your zones and get you training properly, figure out what are your constraints and time restrictions and what time do you have available to train, and we'll develop a plan for you, but it won't have all that access to our team of coaches. It will be initial consultation to develop that plan that's personalized, and then we'll kind of send you along your way, and then if you want to continue after the first 12 weeks, we can continue to add months. So I believe that